was away last week. I am so excited to be back. And what better way than to have an amazing guest? And yes, I've got one. I've got a great guest today, all the way from Ireland. So what are you doing in your business to make sure that you're getting a steady stream of clients coming through? Some people call them funnels. Some people have lead magnets. Let's find out. Let's ask the expert. Louise, where are you?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, thanks so much for having me on your show, Ashley. I'm so looking forward to this conversation.
Oh, no, you've made my day just coming on smiling. As you know, I love smiling. And so I think that's the great way to start off a conversation. So thank you for joining us today. For those people that don't know you, Louise McDonnell, tell us who you are, what you do, please.
So I specialize, I would say, gosh, I think about it over the time, Ashley, and I specialize in marketing. That's what I specialize in. So that's where I started off. My whole life and career was in marketing and specialization in service marketing. And that's what I do. But what I do is I focus on how people can use traditional marketing concepts to get better results from using social media. So how can you use social media to actually drive business revenue, to grow your business, to scale your business? And so that's what I do. So I have an agency where people outsource fully their social media, digital marketing needs to us. So we create strategy, we implement strategy, we create social media content, we run ads, we run email campaigns. And that's great because that keeps my finger on the pulse as to what's working, what's not working, what's changing, how we need to adapt. And the other half of my business then is I have an academy where I coach service-based professionals, so coaches, consultants, anyone who's selling a service. I coach them on how to create their own social selling system so that they're using social media efficiently and effectively to grow their businesses.
Boom. This is like a match made in heaven. Because this is what I do, but I'm just LinkedIn. I don't go all that down that marketing thing. But like you say, it is all marketing. But the problem we've got is we set up our business and we're not marketing experts. We're not social media experts. We're not salespeople. And then we set up our business because is it Kevin Costner that said, "Build it and they will come"?
Yeah, no, they won't.
They don't, do they? They don't.
No.
So where do we start?
I feel like singing.
Go on.
Start at the very beginning.
It's a very good place to start when you start with. Yeah, we know that movie. That'll be on over Christmas, won't it?
Yeah, I love it.
And if you're watching live, name that movie. Anyway, but yeah. So where is the beginning, please, Louise?
So I always say to people that, I'll tell a story, Ashley. So years and years and years ago, when I was training on social media, so it was at the very beginning, like back around 2009, 2010, and at that time,
did we have social media back in?
Yeah, we did.
2009, 2010.
Well, not so much LinkedIn. Facebook would have been really the only social media channel that I was delivering training on. So there was a huge demand for social media was new and Facebook was new. And I remember, and actually you'll get this because you do training as well. So I walked into a training room one day. I had to deliver training for a room full of people. And one guy was sitting there with 15,000 followers. And the guy beside him was sitting there with a big angry face on him with his arms crossed. And he was like, I hate social media. I don't want to be on it. Like he knew he needed to use it for his business, but he really hated it. And he did the notion of even being at a Facebook marketing training course was annoying him. And I remember looking at them and I remember thinking, God, you know what? These two people have exactly the same problem. The guy with 15,000 followers knew how to gain followers, but that's all. And the guy beside him who had never logged on to the platform and hadn't a clue about what I was talking about, he had the same problem, which is he wanted to use social media to grow his business. And so I came away from that training course and I thought to myself, I have to go deeper because when I go into a training course, I need to be able to deliver something for the guy who's never logged on and the guy with all the followers, but still didn't really know how to monetize it. And that's when I developed what I started to develop my steps, my framework. And now I have refined that over the years, and I call it my Build Your Social Sales system. Okay. So it's a system for generating sales and leads, taking the traditional marketing concepts, which nobody wants, by the way, they just want to skip to the easy parts. But once you put those in place, then what you'll find is that your marketing actually works. And when you show up on LinkedIn or whatever social media platform you're using, it's more effective.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a couple of people coming in and commenting. They like us singing. Look at that. This is a new thing. That was a first. That was a first for the guest and the host to sing on the same show. And apparently Facebook and LinkedIn was launched in 2003.
Yeah.
Craig, it was a flippant comment because we've only really gotten into it. And some people have only gotten into it today, haven't they, Louise?
Yeah, so people are adapting all the time, to using social media. And various networks will go through various, some will be in fashion, some will not, some will be popular, some will not, but at the end of the day, there's new people coming all the time. But the networks themselves, like the social media channels themselves, are changing. The world around us and we as consumers, how we consume content and how we react, that's always changing. And if you're selling a service, the chances are your core offer changes as well every 12 to 24 months, because everybody's constantly adapting. So that's why we constantly need to be, that's what keeps us in business, Ashley, is that people need to be continually improving and tuning into what's working, what's not working, and getting results.
Yeah, absolutely. So we start at the very beginning. We have a framework, and so you've got both hats. So I'm one of these people that believe if you teach someone to fish, so if you give someone a fish, they'll eat today. But if you teach them to fish, they can fish eat forever. And so you've got that with your academy, but you're also doing it for those people that are like that and don't want to do it. You'll do it all for them.
Mm-hmm.
How does your business, is it 50-50, or do you get more people like that? How does it work with your business?
Well, the people that outsource tend to be people on multi 6-figure or 7-figure businesses. So they're at the stage where they don't have time or don't, so they need to outsource it. So they're larger businesses, or they're very successful service-based professionals who just don't have the time to do it themselves and need a team to support them. So that would be that side of the business. The academy clients then that come in are business owners who need to know how to do it, or need to know how to get to be able to lead a team to do this type of thing for them. Yeah, so that's how it breaks down.
Brilliant. So you've got every base covered, which is brilliant. So we get started. So just say I've started my brand new business today, and I'm gonna, I don't know, give us an idea for a job, because otherwise I'll come up with something weird.
So you might have somebody who's, let's say, a life coach or a business coach. So somebody who's a coach. Now, yourself, Ashley, it's actually harder for people selling services, because the service is intangible. You can't see a service, and the service is delivered and consumed simultaneously. So after the service is being delivered, there's no evidence of the service, so to speak. So for people who are selling a service, is a little bit more difficult. And for people, I know you find this the same. Confidence is such a huge issue for people. If they're running their own business, that confidence piece to actually show up on social media, and to not waste their time on social media, and to not, what I call, over nurture on social media. So some people either ignore it and don't show up at all, or on the outside looking in, or other people are there and they're like creating content, but there's a misalignment within their messaging. And that means that the content may even perform well and may be doing well, but it's not doing anything for their bottom line. It's not bringing business in. So that is something that we help people with within the academy. So within the service marketing.
Yeah, that was a great question I had this morning from somebody. So right then, Ash, if I'm doing all this content, how do I get people to buy from me? So what's the answer, Louise?
So how do you get people to buy? So I would say my framework is over 5 pillars. So the first thing that I say people really need to be very, very focused on is what their core message is, or their core offer is. And what I find is that most people really don't know what it is. So I don't, and I don't mean what's your core offer? Oh, it's one-to-one training or it's group training. I mean, like, what's it called? How long does it run for? If it's a one-to-one service, how many sessions do you need to work with someone to get the transformation that you can guarantee and promise them? So it's all that, like, being really, really clear on what your offer is, who you're targeting, what's the transformation that you offer them, and being able to communicate that effectively. So that first piece of that clarity on the core offer is often missing. Even when people join my program and they tell me that they know what their core offer is, when we start really pulling it apart and looking at it, they all have to go away and do some work on that. So being really clear on what it is that you're selling, that's your core offer. Because if you don't know that, how can you create communication messages? How can you create content that's going to point somebody towards an offer if you're not even sure what that offer is or what the transformation is that you guarantee? So that's the first thing, the core offer. That's the first pillar. The second pillar then would be the understanding the buyer, like in a really deep and meaningful way, not like at a surface level, but like understanding what's the emotional pain associated with their problem, what words are they using. And so we go really deep and we create buyer personas, which help us then, again, with our messaging, again, to be more persuasive, to get people's attention. And again, if you don't have the clarity around who you're targeting, what you'll find is that all your marketing, including your social media posts, are just going to be a little bit off the mark. The third thing that we do then is we help people with their lead generation. Now, I have a proprietary method that I help people with this. So once we know what your core offer is, we delve deep and we find your signature framework. And that is like, what is the framework that you have developed to help people achieve the transformation? And that signature framework should be baked into all their lead generation. And oftentimes it's not. And what happens is people create these lead gen too, like they might have a guide, or they might have like even a free class, or they might have an assessment, but it doesn't attract the right person and it doesn't point them towards their core offer. So it's all the work around that. So then we do a huge amount of work on lead generation to make sure that it's effective. And then the next thing that we do then is that we look at the use of social media. We look at the use of the social media and the digital ecosystem. And we help people to create content effectively, confidently, week in and week out, which is going to help them to populate their system, which is their lead generation system. And we look beyond just social media, and we look at like the digital ecosystem. So when you have your own, let's say, LinkedIn profile, like your digital footprint is much broader than that. So when you are on a podcast, or when you are on the radio, or when you submit an article to your local press, or when you, like, that's your digital ecosystem. So we actually help people to develop that in a much more strategic way, which is linked all back to that whole bringing people into your core offer. And then the last pillar is new. It's AI. And it's how do you use AI to actually get better results faster. So I actually have an 8-week program that I run out, and I say to everyone on the program, if we didn't have AI, this would be an 8-month program. Okay?
Wow.
Because we can do it now in 8 weeks because of AI. It means that when you go through the hard lifting steps in step 1, 2, 3, and 4, like they're literally, people can write sales pages, opt-in pages, email journeys in a few minutes because they have the tools available to enable them to do that. So that's in effect the framework, that we use. Now, I also have a social selling assessment, Ashley, and what's really, really interesting is that if you want to go and take the assessment, it's socialsellingassessment.com. You get a score of how likely you are to be using social media to generate money. Now, we've had like nearly 300 people take that assessment. And what's really interesting is the data that's come off the back of that. And what it shows, two things. The higher you score, the more money you're making. The lower you score, the likelihood is you're stuck at a 5K ceiling, monthly ceiling. The other thing which was so interesting, the people who score the highest on AI, but the lowest across the other pillars, are stuck on the lower ceiling. And the people who, and the people who score the highest, they also use AI. So what the data shows us is that if you're using AI, but you're not clear on your core offer, your messaging, your lead generation system, any of that the AI is just going to help you create more noise, but it won't make you more money.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes an awful lot of sense. That is brilliant. So your assessment, that's what they call scorecard marketing.
Scorecard is just one of the platforms. We use Scorecard. It is absolutely amazing. But yeah, so quizzes and assessments have been around for years.
Yeah.
But Daniel Priestley has just made it really, really popular because he is so amazingly, fantastically brilliant, and his platform is also amazing. What I like about assessments is this. If I tell you you're weak on messaging, or you're weak on this, or you're weak on the other, you might go, well, no, I'm not, or I don't know if I am, or
what do you know?
Yeah, you're telling me. But if somebody takes and answers questions, and based on how they answer, they get a score, they might go, oh, actually, I'm really good in these areas, but this is where I need to pay attention. So they are really valuable from that perspective. Because sometimes people think, oh, I need to be better at social media, but actually maybe they're like that guy who was in that class with 15,000 followers. They're good on social media, but they're just poor on marketing.
Yeah. Or we haven't sorted out that message or the core value. And this is the thing, right? So here I am setting up my life coaching business. I've done all the courses. I've got a bit of life experience. I can do all of that. And now you're telling me to do all of these different things. And no wonder it's confusing. And I've only ever used Facebook. So what is this LinkedIn thing? Surely that's for businesses, not for life coaches and stuff like that. Do you have a favorite social media platform? Is there one that trumps all the others, or what's your views and thoughts on that?
I'm really platform agnostic. I really don't care.
Okay.
To me, it doesn't make any difference. In our agency, because we use all the social channels, but we use them depending on where our customers are hanging out.
Sure.
So so my favorite at the moment, my personal favorite at the moment is LinkedIn. It's where my clients are. It's where I find most businesses. It's where I love to be. But like I have a book there, Facebook Marketing, the Essential Guide. I wrote that back in 2017 when Facebook really was the place to be. And you know what's really interesting? If I took Facebook out of that and I took every mention of the platform out of it, the book would be relevant today as it was back then, because it's based on marketing principles. So to answer your question, yeah, I'm just like, I'm kind of funny when it comes to social media, because like I'm just not like a lover of it, really. I use it and I put up with it, but I think that my clients are very like me. Like, so one of the things I'll say is, if you don't like social media, that's okay, because you know what, I like it, but a lot of it gives me the ick. But if you want to know how to use it really effectively, just to grow your client base, that's fine. And so I would have people who go through my program with 400 or 500 followers who say that my program has transformed their bottom line. You don't need thousands and thousands of followers. You need a system.
Yeah. That's the key thing to take from this. We can go now. That's brilliant. You need a
Maybe you go back singing.
yeah, okay. So what else can we say? Well, it's Christmas. Should we do some carols? What's your favorite Christmas song?
Oh my goodness, what's my favorite Christmas song? Oh God, you're putting it on me. So, you know, I sing in a choir. We've just finished
brilliant.
a concert of many, many Christmas songs, and I'm really so fed up singing them now. So
we did a gig a couple of weeks ago, and we were practicing all the Christmas songs in November. They're like, oh, come on.
We started our Christmas preparation in August. We were sitting down.
You're a little bit more organized than
no, it's like there's 50 people in the choir. So
wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, as you're in Ireland, we should start off with "In the Drunk Tank."
Once Upon a December, that was one of our new pieces we learned this year, and I loved that, from Anastasia the musical.
Right. Okay. I haven't seen that one. I haven't
Oh, it's
seen.
gorgeous. It's absolutely
I'll
gorgeous.
I'll have to dig that out. Anyway, so we've now got a system. We know what our core offer is. We know who our ideal buyer is. We've built this persona. We're starting our lead generation. And now we've sorted out which social media is going to work for us. And are you one of these specialists that say we should be posting on all of them, or should we just be posting on one or two? What's the magic formula there, Louise?
Yeah, so what we focus on a lot is creating the right type of content which is going to have impact. So I always say to people, I would rather you have like fewer posts that are more impactful than creating lots and lots of content. Okay, so what's really popular, this at the moment, what's really popular at the moment are those story-driven insight posts. So we do a lot of helping people to come up with their stories and create that content. And I would always say, you obviously have your primary platform. So let's say for most people, their primary platform, if they're B2B, their primary platform is LinkedIn. So of course we show them and say, this is how you can maximize your reach on LinkedIn for that type of post, or using the native features within the platform. But then I also say, like if you already have an Instagram account and a Facebook page, just repurpose that content over there as well. Because you've gone to the time, spent the time creating the content, so why not put it in as many places as possible? And that is just my approach to it. I'm like, there'll be some people there puking saying, oh, you can't possibly do that. I'm like, yes, you can. You make your life easy, maybe adapt it and change around the wording a little bit, but not a huge amount, and put it out everywhere. And you know what? It works. And I've seen it work time and time again. The thing that's still really good about Facebook and Instagram, so let's say you're a life coach, or I had one of my clients and she was specializing in coaching. It was stress coaching for people in the healthcare profession, in healthcare sector, that were stressed. Okay. And she was hanging out exclusively on LinkedIn. And I kept saying to her, I don't think your clients are there. I don't think a lot of them are there. I think most of them are actually between Facebook and Instagram. So I said, your content is amazing and it's getting brilliant traction. Why not just repurpose it now on the other platforms? And what I would do if I were you is, on those other platforms, is I'd spend some money, because the advertising, like Meta, is amazing for advertising. So here's a little tip for any of your people tuning in. If you're going to spend any money at all on Meta, spend it on Facebook or the Facebook Ads Manager, and run across to Instagram. Don't spend your money starting with boosting a post on Instagram or promoting a post on Instagram, because the algorithms are not the same. It's not as powerful. If you boost a post on Facebook or go to the Facebook Ads Manager and run an ad, same thing. It's just at two different places where you're starting. The algorithm on Meta is amazing. It retargets automatically. So if you have been spending a little bit of money every month on, your really inspiring posts, when you're going to run an ad for an assessment to get leads or a masterclass, Meta will automatically find those people and bring them in, and you can get really low cost per result. So to answer your question, I would be in multiple places. I would be everywhere I need to be. I wouldn't go to a platform if I knew my clients definitely weren't hanging out there. I would use a combination of organic and paid. Organic on LinkedIn will work perfectly, because if you do the right things, you can get amazing reach. On Facebook and Instagram, you're going to be paying, and on TikTok, you're going to be paying, but you can get really good value for money, and you can put all your tracking in place, and you can quantify exactly what you're getting, and you can make an informed business decision at the end of your campaign. How much did I spend? How many leads did I get? How many did I convert? What was that worth? Was that worth doing? Will I do it again?
Love it. Right. Talking about paid ads. And I guess that's all going to be in your academy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And haven't you got something for free this week?
Yes, I have a masterclass on this Wednesday, the 10th of December. So it's on at 8 p.m.
2 days time, 8 p.m. the UK time.
8 p.m. UK time.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to get it, you'll go to sellonsocialmedia.academy and you'll be able to register there. Or if you go to my profile on LinkedIn, there'll be loads of posts there talking about it.
Awesome.
So yeah, so that's on Wednesday, this Wednesday evening at 8 p.m.
And what are we going to get if we turn up at 8 p.m. on Wednesday evening?
So on Wednesday, I'll be going through my framework in a little bit more detail. I'll also be sharing more insights from the assessment. So with our 300 businesses that have taken, because like I have been saying stuff for years, and now there's the data from this assessment, which is actually proving it. So if you want like this is like real information on if you want to earn more money, if you want to use social media to make more money, we have the data there now to prove it.
Oh, perfect. I'm gonna show who's going to be on next week, right?
Yeah.
So while I'm doing that, you could get those 2 links and put them. If you put them in the
I will.
if you put them in the private chat, I can then put it up and let everybody see those. So that'd be really helpful, because I think we should all be coming to that. So now next week I have somewhere here the amazing Heather Barry. I met her a few weeks ago, and she's coming in to tell us all about the goals that we should be setting, and what perfect timing, because we should be thinking about our goals for 2026. So I've got the lovely Heather coming to join me this time next week. Let's see if we've got those dates there. Where are you? Have you got those info? You have it in the private chat. Perfect. So, oops, I've actually gone to that link now. I want to copy and paste it and put it on the screen, because this is your academy.
That links to the masterclass. I have it just reverting to that to make it easy.
Right, it's not allowing me to do that. So what I'll do then, let's grab hold of that. There we go.
Oh, I can give you another link.
We have 2 hours, 2 days, 7 hours and 22 minutes until this thing. So if I add banner and then put it up, there it is. So that's where we want to be going. And this is your event on
that's our event on Wednesday. And actually, if you register for that, then on the thank you page, we'll get you to take the assessment. So you'll have an idea of what your results is coming in. And what I'll do is I'll give context for all the different pillars, give you a little bit more detail so that you'll see exactly how it affects you.
And here is the assessment. And somewhere here, there we go. It's all too much, but we've got to share this with everybody, haven't we?
Well, thank you so much.
No, not a problem at all. Socialsellingassessment.com. Dead easy. And that's another thing, isn't it? Got to make these things dead easy. So so wonderful. I don't know why that doesn't stay up, but there you go. So social selling assessment. Fill this in, and the computer will give you a score as how good you are at selling socially. Is that right?
Yep, you're going to get a score on,
Awesome.
and you'll get a personalized feedback on each one of the pillars and where you need to pay attention.
Brilliant! Absolutely love this. What question haven't I asked you today that I should have done?
I don't know.
We've covered a lot in 30 minutes. We've covered an awful lot, Louise.
We have.
So thank you so much. Have yourself an absolutely fantastic Christmas.
Thank you, and many happy returns.
Yeah, no, and see you again next year. Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you.
No worries at all. You're an absolute superstar, and good luck on Wednesday.
Thank you.
Cheerio. Thank you so much for watching or listening to my show this week. I want to bring to you people that can help us running our business. I love having a chat. I'm very nosy, very curious, and I'd love to ask questions. So if you want to be a guest, or if you've got some ideas for guests, let me know. And if you want me to help you with your LinkedIn, get in touch, because I want to give you a voice. Now, that could just be using LinkedIn, but I do other things as well. So I can help you with a podcast, a live show, and all kinds of other amazing things. So get in touch. My name is Ashley Leeds. I'm the 15-minute guy, and you can find me on LinkedIn.